Hi everybody, welcome to All Games New and Old. I'm David Rodriguez and today I am unboxing Tiny Epic Dungeons, the deluxe edition that came with Kickstarter, and the Tiny Epic Dungeons Stories, which is an expansion for it. I just got these recently, so I'm really excited to bust them open and see what's inside. Let me turn this over here. So this says Tiny Epic Dungeons is a cooperative game split into 2 acts. In both acts, players struggle against the waning torchlight as it decreases each turn. When the torch goes out, the heroes are forever lost in the darkness. In Act 1, explore the dungeon, fight enemies, and evade traps in an effort to find the boss's lair. In Act 2, engage in an epic battle against the boss. Can you brave the dungeon and overcome the boss's fury? Great question. So it is for 1 to 4 players. It is 30 to 60 minutes and ages 14 and up. So I'm going to move this to the side for now. Let's get this here. And then I'm going to zoom in on this so we can kind of see it a little better. There we go. Hopefully that looks good. Okay, so let's get into the main box. Let me get this, my trusty pizza cutter. Let's see if we'll go through here. Yep. All right, awesome. I was so glad to see this. I kept seeing people get it, and I was sitting here twiddling my thumbs, waiting, hoping that it would actually arrive. And it did, of course, eventually arrive, thankfully. So I've got my copy. So here is our rule book. Here, I'm going to zoom back out, I think, because it's hard to get these things in here. Okay. So this is the rule book. It has a little thing you can scan for instructional video. So this rule book is, oh wow, it's got like a whole fold out thing. So basically about 20 pages long. Looks like there's kind of reference on the back for all the icons. And just kind of looking through here. Looks, I mean, it looks fairly dense. It's, you know, there's not like tons of huge pictures or anything like that. I've heard this one is actually fairly complicated compared to some of the other Tiny Epic games. So I'm curious how it'll be. It's kind of hard to do a real lightweight dungeon crawl, I think, personally. All right, so let me get into this. Now, I'm not sure what all is purely Kickstarter stuff and what is things you'd find in the retail box. I'm just not certain. So, let me get this out because this looks really interesting here. Okay, so we've got a couple little meeples here that have creatures painted on them. So I'm not sure if those are bad guys you fight or if it's got some other particular use in the game, but they look pretty neat. This is, oops, careful pulling this out here. Oh, so this is a mini expansion. So I'm guessing this is Kickstarter. I'm not sure. So we've got the Demon Lord and the Lich. Pretty nasty looking guy. Let me try to zoom in on that a little. There you go. Is that a little better? Hopefully. So this looks like it's all their statsing and how you keep track of what you do when you fight them. I'm not sure exactly how that goes, but all right. We've got some cool little tile kind of cards here. So you have an epic mug of ale there on the top. Let me get into these because I'm curious what else in here. If you can have an epic mug of ale, it's got to have some good stuff. Let's pop in here if I can. Oh boy, I'm having trouble getting these out. There we go. Okay. So the epic mug of ale, witch's brew, bottled energy, healing potion, gotta have those, magic elixir, haste draught, I don't know if I'm saying that right, mind tonic, strength filter. You got a mixie goblin, another mixie goblin, wraith, so kind of more monsters, and vampire. Oh, this vampire. This is what the little meeples were. So is those guys. Okay, very cool. Like that. Put that aside for the moment. Got a little baggie. That's great. All right, here we have more tiles. I'm guessing going to be a lot of monsters. We'll see. There might be some other stuff in there too, of course. Let's pop in here. See what we got. All right, so we have Stabby Goblin. Several of those. Oh wait, no, there's some that are not. Okay. Boomy Goblin. He's got bombs. That's scary. Pokey Goblin. Shooty Goblin. I think got items, crossbow, hookshot. So all kinds of like, looks like maybe magic items that you can get. That's pretty fun. Plate mail to line. I'm not going to go through every single one because that would take quite a while. Longbow of the Panther. That's pretty neat. I like that. Great Staff of the Phoenix. Really cool designs on these things. Oh, so here's more monsters. There's the ooze. Kind of like the gelatinous cube, but not so cube-like. But you can kind of see there's like skeletons in there, all kinds of other stuff. Troglodyte. Minotaur. ogre, troll, skeleton, dungeon crawler, big spider, dire serpent. Okay, then we have, I'm guessing, the dungeon tiles, perhaps. So, a lot of those. Holy Abundance, Delver's Light. I don't know if these might be spells. Eagle Swiftness. It kind of seems like spell effects. Dungeon Scry. No, that might just be another dungeon spot. Pretty neat. Okay, let's move on. I'm purposely saving these miniatures towards the end here. Let's take a look at these dice. I'm going to take them out because it might be a little hard to see, but they look like they've got a pretty cool texture to them. Okay, there we go. Alright, I'll try to get some of these out. I'll just get the red. Oh, I got a couple of okay. So, hopefully you can see that okay. They're really cool looking. They got kind of like swirls of other color in there. It's a little probably harder to see on the black, but hopefully you can see it a little bit. I like that. Just a little like pearl-ish sort of effect. Really like that kind of thing in dice. That's cool. Alright, so we've got some more cool wooden tokens here. This might be the first Tiny Epic game that has like people characters that don't use meeples or like their item meeples. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. So I think these are going to be like a lot of the monsters. We got the snake there. Kind of looks like the Eye of Sauron. I'm sure it's not. It's got cool little like keyhole like gear things. Yeah, I don't remember what that looks like. Might be the Minotaur. Come on, camera. Someday the camera will be able to read my mind and know exactly what I want to focus on. Just dump all these out. It'll be easier. Looks like a goblin guy. Pretty cool. So there's all kinds of neats. Oh, here's our spider friend there. There we go. Pretty neat. Okay, I'm saving the minis for last here. Let's look at this. I'm guessing these might be your boss monsters because these are going to be big, epic creatures that you have to fight. At the end, it sounds like. So let's take a peek at these. All right. See how the dragon looks pretty menacing. The Hydra. The Goblin King. Let me get that focused a little better. There we go. That's better. The Pharaoh. The Gorgon. The Sierra. I mean, I'd say that's clearly inspired by Beholders, we'll say. Okay, these might be the characters. Grokul, a half-orc barbarian. Etherna, the elf sorceress. Uliessa, the dwarven cleric. Winkelius, the elf ranger. Moonblade, the wood elf rogue. Sir Lennon, the human paladin. Garand the Blue, the ancient wizard. Thornton Firebrand, the dwarf fighter. And I'm not sure what this guy is, but we'll figure that out. Alright. Very cool. Let's look at those minis, shall we? One thing I remember during the campaign is, I forget which character it was, but one of the women was drawn kind of needlessly sexy. And people complained about it, and I was glad to see that Gamelyn kind of changed the art a bit to make it a little less sexy, because, I mean, there's no reason to chase off people who could be in your audience here, right? Okay, here we go. Try to get that to focus good. Alright, I'm just going to show you these guys one at a time. They look pretty nice. I mean, I think they're not maybe the most detailed miniatures ever. Just by a quick glance at them makes me think that I could be missing something, but they are good, and they are cooler than the item meeples that they typically use are. Not that those aren't cool; those are pretty neat as well for being, you know, meeples, but where you could stick little items in their, well, sort of in their hands. Those were neat, but especially on a dungeon crawler, I would rather have miniatures personally. There's been a couple games on Kickstarter that were dungeon crawlers that didn't have miniatures, and I ended up not going with them kind of because of that, just because I'm so used to games that do, and it's kind of a bummer when they don't. But these are cool character designs, cool miniatures. Another set of miniatures that I hope someday I'll find time to paint, but we'll see what happens. So it's tough. It's tough to find time between work and doing the review videos to actually sit down and paint. And I love painting models too, but it is hard to find the time, I hate to say. All right, so I'm gonna scoot this stuff to the side for the moment just to make that a little easier on me. And let's get into the stories. Like, I think this has more models in it, and of course there's a lot of other stuff. This adds a story mode, I believe, to it. So it says, the heroes huddle around the campfire, comforted by its warmth, but wary of the dangerous woods that surround them. Journeying to Goblin's Coast from lands across Ogmore, each adventurer has a story to tell their new acquaintances. Some are here for fame and glory, others for coin, and some have more nefarious motives. But for the moment, these unlikely companions are allies, agreed to face this daunting test together, enter the dungeon, defeat its bosses, complete its quests, and save the world. There we go. I don't know how in-depth the story in here is going to be, but I like that it exists. I like having a little more story. Although sometimes games, you know, story kind of evolves just from gameplay, and I like that a lot too. I mean, if you can get a bit of both of them in there, that's really fantastic. Okay, so let me see if I can get this guy open. It's almost kind of harder when it's this thin, in a way, because it's like it doesn't have the weight to, I usually just kind of shake it, and that gets it started. We're getting there. It's just kind of slow. Okay, here we go. All right, so we've got the Adventure Storybook. I don't know if this has, if it's just rules, or I don't want to reveal any story stuff. It doesn't look like it's full of story in here, so that's fine. There's a cool map of the world this takes place in. That's neat. Oh, it's also on the inside of the back box cover. I always love it when they put something inside the box cover. Totally unnecessary, but still pretty neat. So we have more of like the little wooden meeples or tokens that have monsters. There's weird little guys wearing a B and an A. I don't know what that's about. There's some black hearts. There's another kind of Iosauron thing, but it's kind of brown looking. Let's see. Let's get these cards open. See what else this adds. Okay. Ooh, Mighty Gamelyn. He's all armored up. Spelly Gamelyn. Alright, some more magic items. Magic of the Scarab, Vestment of the Scarab, Wings of the Viper, Eyes of the Viper, Bedrolls. Oh, yeah, Fire Elemental, cool. A Golem, also cool. And then more, looks like dungeon tiles. And I'm not sure what this is. These might be quests. I'm not totally certain, but it kind of looks like it might be. So, pretty neat. Let's get to the big cards that have probably bosses and characters on them again, I'm guessing. So I haven't played all the Tiny Epic games. I'd say my favorite so far has been Galaxies. I think that's a lot of people's favorite. But I've liked all the ones I've played. Tiny Epic Defenders a bit, and that one so far seems the weakest to me, but I actually didn't have time to make it through the full game. So I need to give it a better chance before I can really go with that. So, all right, so we have the Tinkerer, the Mind Lasher, and then here's our characters. Itoris, the Elf Warlock. He looks pretty cool. Clotho, the Human Psionic. Zui Xiong, maybe? The Panikin Brewmaster. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but Laura Gambit, the Human Adventurer. I'm feeling that might be a takeoff of, you know, some video game character or something. Sir Gamelyn, that's great because of Gamelyn Games. That's fun. Evelyn, the Dryad Druid. Neely Songheart, Halfling Bard. That's cool. And Zazili, the Human Monk. Very cool. I like the character designs in here. They're really fun. All right, let's get into these miniatures, and then that's going to be pretty much it after that. Let's take a peek here. All right. To focus, okay, that focused pretty well. That looks like our panda guy there. That's pretty neat. He's got a big thing of brew, which I wholeheartedly am excited by. There's our adventurer, Laura. I only remember her because she's, I think, clearly supposed to be reminiscent of Lara Croft in some way. That's our Gamelyn. That's really neat. Okay, I don't know the rest of the names, I don't think, but anyway, they look good. Yeah, I don't know if I would have backed this if it was like standees or something. Maybe, because I do appreciate that Tiny Epic games are, you know, tiny. It's nice to be able to carry them to play somewhere if you want to, and not have it be a big chore. You know, I don't hate, but it's kind of a pain to haul around huge boxes everywhere. Worth it sometimes, but still kind of a pain. I'm guessing this might be our druid character. I don't remember what she was holding. But I do really like these. I hope the game is such that I am like thrilled to paint these miniatures because I just want it to be even prettier. That'll probably be what determines whether or not I decide to take the time. If I really like the game, I will probably paint miniatures up for it. So, very cool. All right, so that is it. That is everything that came with Kickstarter for Tiny Epic Dungeons. I'm really excited to try this out. I'm always happy to find a dungeon crawler, and if it can be a dungeon crawler where I don't need to have like bunches of big old boxes just that are weighted down by a million things, all the better. So this is exciting. I hope I can get a review of that going sometime soonish. We'll see. There's a lot of things on the horizon, I think, as far as Kickstarters go. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, if you wanted to see what's in these boxes of Tiny Epic Dungeons, that is it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so you can know about the next time I put out a video. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you around the table again at All Games New and Old. Bye. Hey, did you enjoy that video? If so, you might like this one.
Or this one.
If you don't have time for either right now, go ahead and click this button to subscribe so you can watch the next thing we put out or some of our older stuff too.
We'll see you around the table.